You know, as if it wasn't enough that I'd seen 8 UFOs in my life, a whole bunch of other crazy, random, supernatural shit happened in my life. And the only thing I can say is there must be something about me energetically. Everybody is born with a certain energy, a calibration of their energy. Some people's calibration, some people's energy is like vibrating on high, you could say. Other people's vibrational energy is really low. They're not able to perceive things. So, all I can say is, I'll put it like this. If you are a bright light shining in the night, all the moths come to you, not just the good ones. So, I think I'm going to try and include everything in this video. When I was a child, it was probably like 1971, 5 years old. I had this weird dream that I was at the dinner table and I had a glass of milk in my hand and it dropped and it shattered on the floor. And I woke up. The shattering of the glass in my dream coincided with the terrible automobile accident outside my house that night. And I woke up disoriented and walked out of my room. And my brother told me, "Hey, come look at this," out of his window. "Look at this accident." I was like, "Wow, that is unbelievable." I don't remember exactly what he said, but I remember what he said. He told me, he said, "I had the strangest dream," he said. I was like, "What was your dream?" He told me that he had a dream that we were at the dinner table and I was holding a glass of milk in my hand and it dropped and it shattered. Now, I haven't really talked to anybody like psychics or anybody about what the significance of this dream might be. But why in my dream I'm holding the glass of milk and why in his dream I'm holding the glass of milk too? I mean, that is just surreal. That was the first real psychic event that I had with my brother. And I think if my older brother had, instead of being competitive with me, instead of hating me for being who I am and him for being who he is, if he had taken a different attitude in life, maybe things would have turned out different for him. But in 1978, he was forced to take me to a movie. And he didn't want to, so he was really pissed. This is the next supernatural event. And so we're waiting at the bus stop, and he told me, "You're going to grow up to be short, fat, and ugly, and stupid." And I was like, "No, juju on you. You're going to grow up and be short, fat, stupid, and ugly." Guess what happened? He's short, fat. Well, I don't know if he's fat anymore. Probably had some illnesses that took the fat off him. But he's kind of ugly. He's kind of stupid too. Sorry to have to say it. That was the second supernatural event, really, with my older brother. Well, if we're not including UFOs, okay. So then, there was another event when I was a child. We were at an island that I think later Jeff Epstein bought, or on an island near that island. My family had decided to go for Christmas to this island. And we were swimming at the beach, and the ocean current, I wasn't strong enough. It took me out to sea. But there was a coral reef right there, but it's poisonous. And so I was like, I don't want to get taken out to sea. So I tried to jump up on the coral reef, and it was just, oh no. And I had to jump back off. In that moment that I jumped back off the coral reef, a dolphin showed up. And I instinctively took control of the fin, or I grabbed the fin of the dolphin, and the dolphin took me back to the beach. And my mom's like, "Ah, ah." And so that was my first dolphin experience. Very unbelievable. And my mom and my brother, My little brother probably doesn't remember, he's too young. But that was the experience, my first dolphin experience that I had. A dolphin saving my life. So, I guess I can continue with that line. So, when I went to Costa Rica in 98 and 99, I lived at a place called Dolphin Quest. But actually, anywhere I went in Costa Rica, animals were always attracted to me. But at Dolphin Quest, even more so. A monkey came and became my friend. One of those little capuchin monkeys, weighs like 6 pounds or whatever, with a prehensile tail, and he wrapped his tail around me all the time. I was a kitchen manager at that resort, Dolphin Quest. So the monkey loved to hang out with me. I was like a pirate. I had long hair, and I had a monkey, and I had birds coming down to feed on the wall of the kitchen area. I'd put fruit out for them, for the tourists to see all the birds come down, the toucans and the different birds. And all the animals loved me. In fact, I'm not sure if there was another attempt against my life there, but all of a sudden a poisonous snake showed up, but it bit the other guy. It didn't bite me. But that's a different story. But the monkey and the dolphins, actually, I would go out swimming every day. I would go out kayaking every day to go fishing for food for the nighttime meal, and I was really good at fishing. Really good at fishing. You'll see in some of the videos. But I couldn't fish in the beginning. Each day I'd go out in the kayak. The dolphins would come and say good morning to me. And they wouldn't let me fish because if you're trying to fish and dolphins come, there's no fish going to come near your line. So they wouldn't leave until I'd jump out of the kayak and play with them. And every time I go back to the beach, the tourists would be like, "How do you do that? Why? Can I touch a dolphin? Can I play with a dolphin?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I guess if they'll let you." Dolphins are very intelligent beings, and they won't go near evil people. I know this for a fact. I've seen it. Yeah, and so at one point, the mama dolphin had given birth. And when I jumped out of my kayak, they were so excited. They were so jubilant. These dolphins are so cool. And so the mama dolphin wanted to present her baby to me. And one of them pushed me down in the water. And I was like, what the fuck, And at that moment, the baby dolphin passed by. And it was like they're so cool, these dolphins. They can measure space with their minds. So they pushed me down right to the point where I was going to touch the baby dolphin as it swam by me. And its skin was so soft. It was so beautiful. It was unbelievable. To be able to touch a baby dolphin in the wild, and the wild dolphins not wanting to attack me, they're wanting to be my friend. And literally every time I'd go out fishing, I'd have at least 10, 20 fish in the boat in an hour and a half's time. Literally, in the kayak with a hand line. And then you can see this in one of my other videos. Just type in my new girlfriend in Nicaragua. My new Nicaraguan girlfriend, just type that in and look for it on my channel. And you'll see that when I was in Nicaragua, when they tried to kill me in Nicaragua, around that time, I was eating, and this parrot comes down and sits on my shoulder. I figured out, because of my knowledge of animals, I figured out it was a female parrot, and she wanted to be my girlfriend or something. And you can see in the video, it's just awesome. She's like right there talking with me and gently biting my finger, and it was so awesome. I mean, my experience with animals has just been so unbelievable. Oh, in Oregon, I think that was in 2001. I went to a forest in southern Oregon to take a moment for myself. And I was sitting at a tree. I was meditating at the base of a huge Douglas fir. And I all of a sudden opened my eyes. And right there in front of me were these 3 young coyotes sitting there watching me. Like they'd never seen a human, or they'd never seen a human do this. And then as soon as I opened my eyes, they froze up. They were freaked out, looked at each other, and they ran off. But they were watching me the whole time, I'm sure, because when I left in my car, was a dirt road coming out of the mountain. They followed me on a path. I think their mom had died, and so they were like looking for guidance or something. They were looking for somebody to be their papa or their mama, and they followed my car. And when I realized they were following me, because it's a dirt road, I couldn't go too fast. I'm a little Honda Civic. I realized they're following me, so I went even slower, and I went back there again, and I saw those same three coyotes again. They came to hang out with me because they smelled my scent and recognized me. I mean, these kinds of things don't happen to people all the time. Now, there's two more events that are pretty incredible. Okay, and when I was in Costa Rica at Dolphin Quest at the height of the tourist season, I was moved from my bed to a house that had a room with no mosquito netting, with no screens, and I had a bed in the middle of the room with a white sheet, and I had four windows. And I never got bit by a mosquito once, and I'll tell you why. Underneath that house were lots of frogs, and they were my first line of defense against mosquitoes, eating mosquitoes all night long. I said, rise up from the water. My second and third lines of defense were spiders and geckos. The spiders in the corners of the room, and the geckos would position themselves around the windows. But the last line of defense was the most unbelievable. And being that who I am, even more unbelievable. Because all night long, as I lay asleep, in and out the windows, all which ways you can imagine, these bats would come in and eat the mosquitoes before they could even get to me. I'd be there, I'd hear a mosquito come, and all of a sudden I'd feel a little brush of wind, and sometimes I'd hear a little eep eep from the bat. And they were like my protectors. It was so unbelievable. I lived that way for a couple of months. It was unbelievable. And I can tell you that people who slept with mosquito nets, if one single mosquito got caught in a net with them, it bit them more times than I got bit in 2 months in one night. So, again, what is it about me? Why are the animals wanting to come to me and protect me and be with me? Now, to make it even... my children, I don't know if they remember it, Helios and Cosmo, but I took them out one day to go hunting for morel mushrooms near Bend, Oregon. And during the daytime, during the day, all of a sudden, this great northern owl appears. Fucking huge owl, I don't know, 3 feet tall or something. Huge. Just standing there on the ground when we showed up, like literally within 4 feet of us. And this is an extremely rare, unusual occurrence because northern great owls are not, usually out during the day, and they're certainly not going to come near human beings. And I don't know if my kids remember. I sure hope they do because it was a very special moment for me, and I hope it was for them. Also at Dolphin Quest, there was a time when these tourists wanted me to go out with them in kayaks, sea kayaking, and they wanted me to go find dolphins with them. And for some reason, I think they were bad people because the dolphins wouldn't come near us. But they're like really despondent because they wanted to see a dolphin so bad. They wanted to be close to a dolphin. And I was like, well, I don't know. Today, I guess it's not our lucky day. But hey, there's this bird up in the sky called a brown booby. Let me see if I can't call it down. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, just wait. And I was like, brown booby. I like, just like that, brown booby, I'd yell out. And the bird came down and sat on my kayak. And everybody got to take a photo of it. And it was like this big moment because the guide, the naturalist guide, called the bird down to his kayak. That was unbelievable. You can see this one too on my channel. There's the biggest fish ever caught with a fish net in the ocean. I just say it that way. I don't know if it's true. But one morning, and everybody told me, you're a crazy gringo. You're never going to catch a fish in the ocean with this fish net. I'm throwing a fish net, And they're like, you got to go to the Laguna and catch the little fish. I'm like, no, I'm going to catch a big fish right here off the beach. You'll see. And I was like, in the morning, at 6 in the morning, there's like people out because it's not hot yet, and people like to go on the beach at that hour. So I'm throwing the net, and all of a sudden I see the fish boiling up right there. So I jump into the ocean up to like my chest practically, and I've got the net up, and I throw the net, and you can see the video of the fish I caught, an amberjack, a really huge one, like 20-pound amberjack in my fish net, and I had to make sure it didn't escape from my net, and I had to drag it up to the beach by its tail, and you can see that video. Fish is still alive in the video after I brought it up off the beach. So, all these experiences with animals, it's pretty unbelievable. But here's the most unbelievable, really. Whether it's birds or wild animals, it doesn't matter. Even cats and dogs. Like, seriously, I've had some of the most nasty, rabid, angry dogs that bite people. Everybody tell, oh no, don't touch that dog, he's going to bite you. I'm like, no, he's not. Come here, doggy. And I have the dog come to me and love me. And cats too, and any other kind of animal, whether it's horse, cow, pig, rabbit, iguana. I even had an iguana come up to me. It was pretty unbelievable. So, why me? What's the energy about me that makes these animals want to come to me? Well, if you consider that dogs can smell fear, they can smell happiness, they can smell sadness, they can smell a lot of things. They can actually smell when another dog left its scent on you because it was happy with you too. And they can smell the other dog's happiness. And so, or a cat. And so maybe over a period of years, there's something like a pattern of goodwill over my body that all these animals cast on me. Oh, I forgot. In 1998, I went into the jungle by myself in Turrialba, near Turrialba, Costa Rica. And I pitched my tent in a place called Cerro Silencioso. And every night a jaguar would walk by my tent and like scratch itself on my tent pole and go and then keep walking like you're saying hello to me. Seriously, I was like, oh my god. The first night I was afraid. I was like, oh no, am I gonna get eaten by a jaguar? Nobody's ever gonna find me. The heir to all this money. It was unbelievable. And when I came out of the jungle 2 weeks later, the tour guide buddies I had, they're like, oh my god, you're alive. And I'm like, yeah, why wouldn't I be? We're about to call your family. Why? Because in the jungle near you, there was one man who died of a snake bite, and on the other side, there's a man who died from a pack of wild boars that ate him to death. And I was like, well, maybe they had bad energy. I don't know. So that does it for the animal kingdom. Thanks.